Who's actually going to love this grill? Who's better off walking away? And does the price make sense for the average backyard chef? That's the question on most people's mind when they stare at a 34-inch, 3-burner gas beast with an infrared rear burner and built-in lights. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last few weeks reading forums, watching a handful of unboxing videos, and talking to a couple of people who actually own a similar blaze model. So let's break down what you'll really get when you pull the plug on that purchase decision. First off, the hesitation is real. Outdoor grills sit in a high-stakes part of the budget. They're expensive, they stay outside year-round, and if they don't work the way you expect, you're stuck with a big, heavy piece of metal you can't just toss in a closet. The Blaze Outdoor Grill markets itself as a professional outdoor kitchen with a lifetime warranty, which sounds solid on paper, but also raises the bar for performance. If you're the kind of buyer who likes to experiment with different heat zones, sear a steak at 700F, and still have drawer space for tools, the concept is appealing. If you're just looking for a simple weekend burger and hot dog setup, the extra bells and whistles could end up feeling like paying for features you'll never use. Let's talk about who should actually consider this unit. The grill's 3 main burners are sized for a 34-inch cooking surface, which translates to roughly 700 square inches of direct flame. That amount of real estate is useful if you regularly feed a family of 4 or 5, or if you enjoy hosting neighborhood get-togethers where you're juggling burgers, chicken wings, and a few veggie skewers at once. The rear infrared burner is a real differentiator. It's designed to generate intense, even heat that's perfect for searing steaks or cooking a rotisserie chicken without flare-ups. If you've ever tried to get that restaurant-style crust at home and ended up with a charred exterior and undercooked interior, this infrared zone could be the answer. And the built-in grill lights are not just a gimmick. They let you keep the party going after sunset without having to set up extra floodlights. On the flip side, if you live in a small balcony or a compact patio, the 34-inch footprint plus the cart base might dominate the space. The unit also requires a natural gas connection, meaning you can't just plug it in with a propane tank if you don't already have a line installed. That adds an extra cost and a need for a professional to hook it up safely. For renters or folks who move frequently, that permanent installation becomes a headache. And let's be honest about the price tag. This is not a budget-friendly grill. You're paying for the stainless steel construction, the lifetime warranty, and the extra features. But if you're only firing it up a few times a month, the return on that investment shrinks quickly. Now, the practical strengths. The 3 burners give you a decent amount of independent control. You can set one burner low for slow cooking sausages while keeping another on high for a quick sear. The rear infrared burner sits behind the main cooking area, so you can start a steak on direct flame, then slide it over to the infrared zone to finish without worrying about flare-ups. In real-world use, that means less time juggling tongs and more consistent results, especially for cuts that need a high-heat finish. The grill lights are positioned to illuminate the cooking surface without glare, which is handy when you're flipping burgers at 9 p.m. and don't want to stumble around the patio. The cart comes with a door and 2 drawers, giving you a place to stash spatulas, seasoning tins, or even a meat thermometer, so you're not hunting for tools while the grill is hot. However, the same features that sound great on a spec sheet can become sources of frustration. The infrared burner, while powerful, runs hotter than the main burners and can be a bit finicky to clean. Food drippings tend to caramelize faster on the infrared plate, and if you don't scrape it down after each use, you can end up with a sticky buildup that's hard to remove. The grill lights, while functional, draw power from the same gas line via a small transformer, so any fault in that system could affect both lighting and heat. Users have reported that the wiring harness can feel a little loose after a few months of use, which isn't ideal for an outdoor appliance exposed to the elements. The drawers, while convenient, are on the heavier side because they're made from stainless steel. They don't glide as smoothly as you might expect, especially after a rain shower when the metal can get a bit sticky. Another practical point is the weight and maneuverability. At roughly 200 pounds, this isn't something you can wheel around the backyard on a whim. If you ever need to move it for cleaning the patio or rearranging furniture, you'll likely need a